All right, everyone, we are finally back here at Disneyland Resort. Just parked here at Toy Story. It is crazy windy. We're supposed to have a massive storm tonight. I got flash flood warnings on my phone. So I expect it to be busy today. It is Columbus Day or Indigenous Peoples Day. And headed into the resort to give you guys the latest update. There's a lot of things going around. This might be a longer video, but let's go get started. All right, so we have a lot to cover, like I mentioned. But I'm going to start over here in downtown Disney first, just because there's so much in downtown Disney and in the Esplanade area. We've talked about some of this before, but I just kind of want to revisit it for people that have maybe not been to the channel before, or also since it's been a while since I put a video up. But we already know, right? We had permits filed for these 2 ticket booths here in the Esplanade to be demolished. These will actually be part of the new space that they're building for Portos. Now, Portos hasn't been canceled. It's just been delayed for a really, really long time. And I feel like the reason why it's delayed is because the Grand Californian Hotel's construction's been delayed. They have some really, really, really close rooms on the other side of La Brea Bakery that are just really, really close to where all this deconstruction and construction noise would be close to. And it's my opinion that Disneyland doesn't want to put these rooms out more than once. They don't like to put rooms off the market in general, especially at a hotel like the Grand Californian that sells out regularly. So what they're going to do is, I feel like Portos has just been slave to Disney, waiting for them to finish and get to the point where these rooms are going to be constructed over at the Grand Californian. But these ticket booths are going to be gone. All this space is actually going to be for Portos, including the dining patio here for La Brea Bakery. What I don't know is how much it's going to extend inside Disneyland that direction, or inside Disney California Adventure rather. But you can see the Grand Californian rooms are so close to La Brea Bakery, and when they're finally deconstructing them, it's going to be a lot of noise, not only for Disney California Adventure Park, but also for the hotel guests that are staying literally right there. So not only that, look how small this pathway is. When you start bringing in construction walls and equipment to bring down buildings, they're going to need to close all of this space. That also means that they're going to have to do some stuff over there as well too, for new pathway construction for guests getting in and out of downtown Disney. So that's going to change too. So we'll have to see here how it all ends up playing out, but rumor has it the construction for the rooms right up here are going to be pretty soon. And once that happens, I feel like we'll also see La Brea Bakery finally close. It's super windy out here, so I hope the microphone with the windscreen is kind of helping it a little bit. But just wanted to show you guys the latest construction over here at Lululemon coming to downtown Disney. I don't know how much of this space it's actually going to occupy. I'm one to think that their new entrance is actually going to be right there, which was never an entrance before. And then over here, I feel like this entrance is going to remain in play for the teams that use the upstairs rooms for the, I think it's called the Imagination Institute, or I'm not exactly sure what Imagination Academy, I think it is, or something like that. But it's the schools funded program that Disney does that actually makes them quite a bit of money. But I also wanted to show this over here. There was a rumor for a while that this entrance was going to be torn out, and people were really perplexed by it. I think Walt Disney World News Today and other news outlets reported on it being closed and being torn out. It's actually not. It's open. It's back here again. So that's an interesting one. The other major news for downtown Disney is the Carnaby, which is the collaboration with Earl of Sandwich. So Earl of Sandwich being downstairs, the Carnaby being upstairs. The Carnaby actually just announced that this is a restaurant concept from Chef Gordon Ramsay. So, of course, the famous chef from Hell's Kitchen, he's going to be the one that's behind the Carnaby's menu. And people were really excited to hear about that. Hell's Kitchen brings in so many tourists to Las Vegas and other places that it's located. So it's going to be really nice and cool to have a Chef Gordon Ramsay restaurant here in downtown Disney. It's going to really make it a destination kind of location, sort of like Hell's Kitchen is. People come from all over to try that. And I feel like downtown Disney really needs something like that, especially since we get a lot of out-of-town guests here for conventions that don't really go into the parks. They're just here to visit downtown Disney in between their conference days, their business meetings, whether that's a convention at the hotel or it's a convention at the Anaheim Convention Center, or like a sport meet or something like that. So it's really great that Disney's bringing all these super diverse, amazing restaurant offerings like Parkside Market, the Paseo, the Centrico, just so many different places people can eat and dine. It wasn't really an option before in downtown Disney. Now it is. And it's really awesome for guests, especially here on vacation. It's making it more of a destination, and it's giving them options to sit down and eat when before that wasn't really the case at Disneyland. There wasn't a lot of stuff going on. And in the parks, that still kind of is the case, but at least in downtown Disney, it's getting a little more diverse with some great options. But let's go ahead into Disneyland now. I'm actually gonna take the monorail in since we don't have to walk all the way back.
Hello, everybody. We're back in town. We're back in town.
Yeah, the boys are back in town.
He said, hello, everyone. We're back in town. Oh, like, now it's like this.
Yeah, the boys are back in town.
Our next update brings us over here to Frontierland inside Disneyland for Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Now, this attraction is going through an extensive refurb. Nothing's being added. It's really just some tender love and care to the attraction. In fact, we've seen it testing and moving right now. This attraction had been rumored this week to be reopening sometime in late November. That has already since been updated, and it's still on an indefinite status. So this is quite a long, extensive refurb for Big Thunder Mountain. And from those involved that do know, that have shared with us, it's just a refurb. It's given the attraction the love and attention it needs, redoing a lot of the track, train, just making sure all the maintenance is upkept and good on the attraction. But again, it's been closed almost all of September. It's going to be all of October, and now probably all of November. So this is quite a long refurbishment. If you guys have any upcoming visits planned for opening of holiday season, chances are you're probably not going to be experiencing Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. You can see right here, they're doing some testing in the station now. Not quite sure what's going on, but it's happy to see the ride's getting some love and care, right? Getting some updates, making sure everything's safe and good. Probably need to do that to Space Mountain in all honesty. But let me try to see if I can get on Mark Twain. That's like my tradition when I come into the parks. Mark Twain has the best vibes of the whole entire park. Better than the train, better than everything. Love the Mark Twain. So I'm gonna try to get to it if I can. Unless the last ship is left, we'll check right now. Looks like I made it. Heading for the top floor. So this is my coveted spot here on the Mark Twain top floor at the back by the big paddle wheel. You're gonna get to look out at Disneyland as you're passing by. Honestly, the best vibes in the park can't be beat. Like I said, the train's great, but I feel like this is just a step above. And the third floor is not always available. Disney kind of closes it sometimes, especially if it's raining. They don't let people come up here. So I don't always get to experience it, but when it's open and available, I'm gonna do it. But there's a few more things I wanted to point out here in Disneyland. One of them will be over here in Fantasyland, where we'll head to next. And then there's a couple other things before we head over to Disney California Adventure to check out the latest on some of the construction projects there. And then we'll wrap it all up, headed back to the Esplanade to talk about the future of the parking structure construction, which is going to be starting as well soon on the other side of the Esplanade from where we started the video.
So we can avoid running. Mark Twain is not just the name of a riverboat or a great American author. It also means the water here is 2 fathoms deep. That means it's safe enough for us to proceed on our steam-powered journey along the rivers of America. On our trip, we'll visit
All right, so our next update's over here in Fantasyland. Like I mentioned, Casey Jr. Circus Train and the Storybook Land canal boats are closed and have been closed since July. Still, at this time, you know, some multiple updates we've done on this throughout the months. It's still no opening date yet, still to be determined. The only update we did get, however, is that Disney shared with us what that rumored permit was for installing something new, and that was a new section of Storybook Land canal boats. They're adding Tangled, Rapunzel's Tower, to the attraction. This is a long-standing tradition on this ride, actually. In the past, whenever there was a new movie that came out, they would add a miniature for it in Storybook Land canal boats, and that hasn't happened in a while. And this will be the first time they're doing it again, which is great. And they're actually also cleaning Monstro. He looks very blue and very not covered in white hard water stains. So he's looking really, really good and refreshed. No timeline on when it's going to open, but it'll be cool to see Rapunzel's Tower added to the attraction. And maybe it's a long-standing tradition they'll continue. Maybe they'll start adding like things like Moana to it, other movies that they've missed throughout the years. But let's go ahead and head now over to Tomorrowland. One more stop before we head on over to Disney California Adventure Park. So I'm actually here in Tomorrowland at the Disney Vacation Club Lounge. For those that didn't know, I am a Disney Vacation Club member, and one of the perks I love having is being able to access the lounge here, just escaping the crowd, coming to get like a Coke and enjoying some snacks and things like that. It's super, super nice, amongst all the other benefits of having Disney Vacation Club. But I want to take a moment to stop in the video and talk a little bit about kind of what's been going on in my life and why things have been a little bit non-existent here on the channel. So I talked about it earlier this year when I was laid off from my last job. And I was actually unemployed for a few months, but finally found a new job. And that new job was extremely difficult as far as hours and dedication. It's really hard out there to find a job if you don't already know. I'm sure a lot of you do. They're saying everyone's job hugging nowadays, where they're like not wanting to let go of their job even if they hate it, because it's just really hard to find a job. And trust me, it is. I was looking so hard to find a job. I did finally find one. Not the most ideal hours. I'm working really long days sometimes. And don't have weekends off anymore, which has been a huge change. So it's been harder for me to do things like Speculation Sunday, but Mondo and Five Fires YouTube, he helps me by picking different days to be able to do it, like on Monday or Tuesday, things that work with my schedule. But I don't have a lot of free time after work to be doing stuff, and on my days off, I don't even barely have any time to just do what you need to normally do. So I've been trying here and there to find when I can, fit things in to do, like today, coming to Disneyland, just enjoying a day by myself. And I plan to do that more often now that I've kind of gotten into the rhythm of everything like that. But when it comes to the podcast, unfortunately, that's going to be a casualty in this whole thing. The podcast is actually going to be going away. I'm going to be doing one more episode at some point to kind of close everything out, but it was just too much to try to do the podcast on a weekly basis, the YouTube videos, and do Speculation Sunday. There's a lot of work that goes into Speculation Sunday. It's sometimes 2-3 hour episode that we're doing every week. On top of that, recording a YouTube video. So, you just eventually run out of time and also energy to be able to do things on your days off. I wish I could be a full-time, content creator, but that's just not in the cards for me. So I don't have the ability to kind of do as much as I can all the time. But I want to do as much as I can do in the time that I've been allotted, and enjoying these little nice peaceful days here at Disneyland like I'm doing today. All that being said, I do love posting on YouTube. I will continue to do so on YouTube. I don't always post on social media too much. I post the most when I do on Instagram, on my story, and also on X and Threads. I definitely don't post on TikTok anymore, and I don't post on Facebook, even though I should, because I know there's a lot of people that watch over there. But continue to stay tuned on the channel. I'll try to post as often as I can, and I'll hopefully post more on Instagram as well too. All right, so let's go ahead and leave the lounge now and head on over to DCA to finish out this video. Also, highly recommend Hoka shoes. These are recommended to me. I just got them. I've been struggling with like some pain when you're walking and stuff like that, and everyone's like, get Hokas, Hokas are the best, and I didn't believe it, but I got them. I got the Bondi 9s. These are like the best shoes I've ever worn, honestly. Super expensive, but I love them. Not a sponsor, by the way. For those that remember this Iron Man tunnel from the old Innoventions building, this is actually the entrance here into the DVC lounge here, the Starlight Lounge here in Tomorrowland. I will say it's always weird to come here into this old building, remembering what it used to be when it was the Innoventions House of the Future, then it became the Star Wars launch bay, and you can still meet characters in here if you have a Disney Visa card, but for the most part it's pretty abandoned other than the Imagination Campus, which we talked about earlier, by the way, over in downtown Disney, the ESPN Zone building where they're building Lululemon. That is the headquarters for Imagination Campus, and this is some of their classrooms for some in-park activities. You know what I akin walking on Hoka's, at least the Bondi brand of Hoka's, or the Bondi line. Whenever you go into those playgrounds, like over in Toontown or just anywhere in general, and they have that spongy ground that you walk on, and everyone always comments, they're like, man, I wish like all ground was like this all the time when you're walking on it. That's what it feels like to walk on these shoes. No joke. If you guys live near Dick's Sporting Goods, just go try them on. They're the Bondi 9s, Hoka's. I'll be buying these probably like in multiple versions and colors. And here's a look at the latest for the Avengers Campus expansion construction. They brought the crane down because we're supposed to again have that big storm, so they don't want it kind of fully extended and you know, a chance that it can fall over. So, but it's looking really good. They've continue to really make a lot of progress here when it comes to this. We're seeing a bunch of indoor stuff now and electrical things being laid in there, so they're moving fast. I'm excited to see kind of what this all looks like when it starts to take shape and match the rest of the Avengers Campus, so we'll be keeping an eye on this. Of course, the wall inside the land hasn't expanded at all. It still kind of goes to right there during the sanctum. But let's keep moving through DCA. The other project I wanted to show you guys was over here, actually at the Grand Californian, but on the DCA side. You can see they're still well underway on the construction outdoors here for the patio that they're extending and making a little bit more plussed up for Napa Rose prior to what it was before. Now Napa Rose unfortunately had its construction delayed, like a lot of the stuff here at the Grand Californian, which is simultaneously also delaying the Portos construction. But Napa Rose was supposed to open this year, and I'm sure they love the revenue from opening this year because they do really well during the holidays, especially New Year's, but they won't be opening. They announced that they're going to be opening early in 2026, so the delays have really been just plentiful over here at the Grand Californian, and I'm not sure why. But let me just show you a different angle of the patio space. Here's another angle of the patio space. You can see the outdoor fireplace they're building, and then they're just kind of extending some stuff there on the patio. But I'll definitely be trying to dine at Napa Rose once it reopens. I always loved the outdoor space. It wasn't very, often that you'd find it open, but when it was really cool to kind of be dining in the park. I'm actually heading over back to Disneyland because I forgot one super important thing about the castle that's already showing up today. So I'm going to show you that, and then we'll end up calling it quits on this video for today. So this was the update I forgot to mention when I was here at Disneyland, is the fact that there's snow on the castle already, and Halloween hasn't even started yet. But that's normally a tradition here at Disneyland, but it's just so funny to see, especially when you're watching the Halloween fireworks show. You're seeing Jack Skellington and all the Halloween projections on it, but then there's snow and soon to be icicles. They're even putting the anchors for those right on the castle turrets there. So it's kind of funny when they have this little moment where holidays collide. We already saw Christmas merch over at World of Disney, but it's a little awesome to see Christmas coming so soon. Best time of year at Disneyland, honestly. Do love Halloween, but Christmas time at Knott's and at Disneyland, so good. Looking forward to both of those. But now we can go ahead and say goodbye to this video. I'm headed out now, and we will walk on through, and I'll have a little outro for you guys on kind of what's next when I get outside of Disneyland. That about wraps up everything in this video. I hope you enjoyed this little vlog update at Disneyland and a little life update as well too. I appreciate you all for following along and making it to the end of the video. If you have, hit the like button on the video. Make sure you're subscribed for additional content, and I'll see you real soon on Speculation Sunday on Mondo's Five Fires YouTube channel, and of course here on Just Ask Danny.